Hello everybody once again, this is AikawaKazu. Welcome back to my first ever Path of Exile build guides for dummies like myself, who is relatively new to Path of Exile, starting to play seriously in a way from the Harbinger League, or if you are just started in Abyss League, this will be a nice guide for you, I guess. And today we'll be looking at the Terminus Flicker Strike Slayer build guide, and Terminus being the most important unique that you need for this build, Flicker Strike being the skill gem that you'll be using, and Slayer being the Duelist Ascendencyl that I'll be talking about today. So before I actually go ahead and show you some gameplay footage of the Flicker Strike build or the build itself, let me tell you why I'm actually making this build or this character in the first place. So Flicker Strike is really nice for fast map clearing, and for my character, my personal goals is to hit at least tier 10 or 11 for the farming of currency smoothly, so that I can actually get currency to fund other builds or other interesting builds that I want to do later in the league. And for the Terminus itself, it is actually relatively easy to fund. That means you need around 10 to 15 kills tops, 10 kills to get a decent Terminus unique Tiger Sword, where you are looking at the 70% to 74% or even 75%, which is the highest you can get for the critical strike chance. I'll talk about why that's important. But aside from this unique, the rest of the uniques is not that important. For me, my Abyss League starter was a Reef Gladiator crit explosion, and I didn't really like that very much, so I got about 10 to 15 kills. I got this Terminus weapon and decided to try Flicker Slayer because I didn't want to make a Ancestral Call Frostblade's Molten Strike, or I didn't want to make an Essence Drain Contagion. So yeah, if you're in a similar situation like myself and you're looking for something interesting and fun to play, or having relatively or fast clear speed for mapping up to tier 10 or 11, then this is one build that you can consider. Alright, so let's get to some gameplay so that you know what I'm talking about. We'll be doing dunes here, which is one of my favorite maps back in Harbinger League. Shaped dunes are really nice to do. But for Flicker Strike, maybe not so. Why? Because Flicker Strike is not that smooth when it comes to using Flicker Strike in in maps that are relatively open. Oop, there we go, Divine, or that's pretty nice. We got Strand. So Flicker Strike is quite nice for the current Abyss League because of how the chasms lead to an opening here, and you kind of can Flicker Strike indefinitely over the opening, and that's really nice. Like we're going in circles, and it looks like it's a lot of fun. If you play Dota 2, this is basically Omni Slash and Path of Exile, and I'll tell you why it is looking like this later on. Oh, we got a unique Dunes map. Okay. So Dunes is a relatively open map, so we'll just go around the edge and should be able to find the boss, which is right here. I might... Oh, we actually ripped both of them because I'm a Slayer. Nice, alright. Usually the boss has two phases. Once it hits below 50% HP, it will enrage. But because we are a Slayer and we managed to do enough damage, we actually managed to kill the boss before they get into enrage, where they will get back their health to 50%, I believe. Or is it full health? I can't remember exactly. This is my favorite map in Harbinger League for the Val Power Siphon build. Val Power Siphon Wander with Kinetic Blast. Yep. So the single target damage is there as well. It's not like it's not there. If not, we would not have been able to Booty Blast the Dunes boss to death without it enraging. Of course, there'll be other builds out there. I believe Molten Strike will easily be able to do that as well. As I said, it's a pretty common build right now, and I want to try something different, which is why I actually chose Flicker Strike in the first place. So that is the gameplay for you, and now we'll go into details for how the Flicker Strike build actually works. And in some fine details for people who are new to Path of Exile like myself, I'll go into detail on how Flicker Strike as a skill actually works. So let's take a look at Flicker Strike here. So Flicker Strike actually has a cooldown time of 2 seconds every time when you use the skill, but you can bypass the cooldown by expanding a Frenzy Charge. Which is why if you look at the Terminus Tiger Sword, it will help you gain a frenzy charge on critical strike, which means this build requires you to have high critical strike chance. I, right now, with my Ice Golem up, have 69% critical strike chance. Ice Golem actually gives you increased critical strike chance when it's alive. Sometimes people find it very annoying to resummon the golems and they die quite easily, but if you do have good gears, you just have to make use of what the game provides you. So 69% is pretty nice overall, and it actually mostly comes from the passive tree, which I'll be sharing with you later on. But basically, you want to have as high critical strike chance as possible, which is why you need to get a Terminus Tiger Sword, with at least 70 to 72% critical strike chance. I believe the lowest row is actually 50%, so you definitely want to get at least 70 to 73% increased critical strike chance. The physical damage or the physical DPS is not that important, but I would say that you want at least around 360 to 380 physical DPS with around 72% increased critical strike chance, and that should be around 10 to 12 kills with the current economy of the league, and it should go down as the league goes on. It doesn't go up because the Terminus Tiger Sword is not such a rare unit to find for the most part. Alright, so what else can you actually do to generate frenzy charge for your build? Because using Flicker Strike is all about generating and sustaining frenzy charges. So the other skill gem that we'll be using is actually a buff. It's called Blood Rage. Alright, Blood Rage is a buff that upon using gives you increased attack speed and life leech. But the important part here is that whenever you kill enemies with Blood Rage on, you can actually be granted a frenzy charge. So there's two ways here for you to get frenzy charges, but Blood Rage is not a very reliable way to get frenzy charges when you're in a single target situation, usually in the boss room. So this one will be something that you have to bear in mind, that for Flicker Strike there will be instances, especially on your first ever Flicker Strike cast, that you might not generate Flicker Strike. I mean, you might not generate frenzy charge to continue to Flicker Strike, and that will happen. Trust me, and I'll share with you guys more on what you can do when that happens. But basically, you have Blood Rage and you have Terminus. These two things will work hand in hand to generate frenzy charges for you to be able to allow you to Flicker Strike continuously for the most part. So what are the skill links that I use for my Flicker Strike in this build here? The most important one will be multi-strike support. So to iterate to you how multi-strike is important, we'll go to my favorite map here, Blood Aqueduct. Alright, and we're going to remove that skill gem. Alright. So Flicker Strike is actually a single target skill for the most part. So if I actually use my Flicker Strike here, so I only move once, I didn't flicker, as far as you can see, right? Like, you don't see me moving as fast as I did compared to what I did earlier. So now if I actually put in a multi-strike support gem, alright, you realize that in one flicker I'm actually moving 2 more times. Why? Because the way multi-strike support gem works is that supporter skills will repeat 2 additional times. That means I'll actually use Flicker Strike 3 times, right? See, 1, 2, 3, that's from one Flicker Strike usage, alright? And you'll also target you'll target random enemies every time. So this gives you the quote-unquote smoothness of Flicker Strike, which is why you can actually flicker all the way down an entire row like this. And one tip here, by the way, you do not need to actually put your mouse over an actual target to actually flick to the target, because Flicker Strike actually teleports you. Like, my mouse cursor can be here now, and if I right click anywhere near a target that's within the teleportation range of Flicker Strike, I'll actually automatically teleport. So you don't have to actually right click on an actual target to Flicker Strike. So that's one tip to know, which is very useful when Flicker Striking. So you don't actually need to target your Flicker Strike, even though there are instances where you want to do that anyways. Alright, so that's how important the multi-strike skill gem actually is. It allows you to attack 2 more times on 2 random targets, and it also helps you to be able to sustain your frenzy charges, even though from what I've read so far, multi-strike on hit is counted as 1 hit. It doesn't actually consider to be 3 hits, so you don't actually have 3 times as much chance to generate frenzy charges. But just take note that I believe it's definitely better to sustain and generate your frenzy charges, especially for mapping, since I believe this is how it works, that if you hit 3 different targets and 3 of them die, with your Blood Rage you have extra opportunity or chance to generate a frenzy charge. But from what I've read so far, it's only considered one hit. So technically speaking, it does help you sustain your frenzy charges and it helps you smoothen out your gameplay by a lot. But it actually doesn't give you exactly three times the chance to generate frenzy charge, if you know what I'm trying to say here. But it's still very, very important and key to your Flicker Strike build. The second most important skill gem will be your melee fist damage support. This gives you the most DPS, direct damage if you're using a pure physical damage build. And then your third support gem that will be most important will be increased critical strike support, because you want to have as high critical strike chance for a Flicker Strike, followed by, I would say, added fire or fortify. And why fortify is because I'm using the abyssus helmet over here. You take 43% increased physical damage while getting, you know, really high flat fist as well as crit multi. So it's like a trade-off. This is the more offensive option. This is actually by no chance needed if you're looking to clear out the tier 10. This is more like if you're going for endgame option, then you'll need to consider Abyssus, Star Conjure, which is a more defensive and balanced and safer build, which is the first unique helmet that I actually went for my Flicker Strike build initially. But I'm trying out Abyssus right now. But a rare helmet with very, very nice resist and life will still be fine. And the enchant is not needed as well. In fact, the enchantment, the battle one, will be increased damage per frenzy charge with Flicker Strike, if I'm not wrong. I think 6% increased damage per frenzy charge that you have if you are looking for enchantment, but I couldn't find that. So 40% increased Flicker Strike damage is nice. I got this for around, I think, 45 chaos if I remember correctly. Yeah. So why what if you're not going to use fortify, right? What if you're not going to use abyssus? Another skill gem that you can consider is the elemental damage with attack support. If you look at my Flicker Strike damage right now, 17,000 per use. Alright. If I change it with fortify, it goes up to 19.8k. And there's actually a cold damage conversion build that you can do. There's a lot more budget than abyssus if you're looking to increase your damage, which I was using before this. Yep, you go for Winter Spirit nodes over here. Alright, and use the Hymn Sorrow gloves for 50% physical damage converted to cold. With Winter Spirit, you have another 20%, so that's 70% physical damage converted to cold. You get a lot of flat fist, and a lot of those flat fists of physical damage will be converted to cold damage. And I actually have higher damage on the tooltip with that setup. Yep, compared to when I use my abyssus, but you have to take into account the vastly difference in the crit multi. So I believe the abyssus build is definitely doing more damage, but if you're looking for something that's more budget, you can use Hymn Sorrow, which is like 1 chaos with Winter Spirit. Yep, and it's very near to the passive tree build anyway, just 3 points into this. And with Hymn Sorrow, with elemental damage, with attack support gem, and you don't need to use abyssus, which is very risky. You can use a Star Conjure or any rare helmet, and that will still do the job as well. But if you're doing this setup, you'll be using fortify for extra, you know, fortify is good mitigation, damage mitigation, as well as added fire damage support. In fact, if you want to use elemental damage with elemental damage, okay, for right now it's actually worse to use it for me. Before then, my added fire was like level 1, that's why it was better. But yeah, this is the setup that you want to go for if you're using the Herald of Ash setup that I'm going on, and Hatred right now. Yeah. So my Flicker Strike again, multi-strike, melee fist, fortify, increased critical strikes, and added fire. But if you do not have a tabular like me, multi-strike is the #1 priority, melee fist, your second link, and then your third link, you can go for added fire for damage in the beginning if you don't have abyssus, or you can go for, I'm sorry, your third link should be increased critical strike support. Then later on you can do added fire, and then fortify when you get a tabular. And right now, I have gotten my belly. I'm trying to 6-link it. Maybe I can do it right now. Use bad, never lucky. So once I 6-link my belly of the beast, I'll be removing my tabula. And the other way you can do is try to get a 6-link on your Terminus, up to you. But for now, I'm going to do a belly of the beast 6-link, because if I'm changing builds in the future, a 6-link belly of the beast will always be very, very versatile overall. But what's next about this build that you need to know is the blasphemy support with Assassin's Mark, which is to allow you to generate power charges, and power charges basically gives you more critical strike chance, and also enemies cursed by Assassin's Mark take or rather have additional 9% chance to receive a critical strike, and they take 20% extra damage on critical strikes as well. And this 20% is just really nice when you have map modifiers that, you know, allows a monster to take reduced critical strike damage. So Assassin's Mark definitely go hand in hand with your build here. And Blasphemy Support basically converts your Assassin's Mark to be an aura. That means you don't have to actually manually cast your Assassin's Mark all the time. You'll be an aura around you. Yep, 72% increased area effect of curse skills, pretty much. And supported curse spells are cast as auras. And then we have Arctic Armor here, and you basically have 12% less physical damage taken when hit, and 12% less fire damage taken when hit. When you're stationary, when you're flicker striking, you're actually stationary, you're not actually moving. Yeah, so that's one thing to take note as well. And what else? We have Ancestral War Chief, main support, and melee fist damage support here. And Ancestral War Chief is actually pretty useful here. One thing about Flicker Strike is that there will be situations, again, where your first Flicker Strike, including with a multi-strike support gem helping you, that you will not actually generate a frenzy charge. And when that happens, you have to immediately leap slam, and in hopes that you actually hit mobs around you, and then actually crit, and then get frenzy charges, and then continue to Flicker Strike away. That's for clearing maps. Sometimes you are really unlucky to not generate frenzy charge on the first Flicker Strike cast. The other one that might happen is when you're bossing, and when that happens, again, try and leap slam onto the boss, or you can just, you know, leap slam away, wait for your Flicker Strike cooldown, and then jump in and hopefully this time RNG is good on you, and you actually gain a frenzy charge, and you should usually be able to sustain. It's just that there will be some moments where 69% is not good enough with multi-strike and with your Blood Rage when there are, you know, ads around, that kind of stuff. But usually if you actually enter a boss room for mapping with your frenzy charges on, or 5 stacks on, you should be fine. And with that, we actually look at our Ascendency here. Why Slayer for Flicker Strike? If you are not using the Slayer Ascendency, number one, you do not have the Bane of Legends, which is 20% culling strike. What that means is that whenever you damage any monsters, including bosses, to 20% HP, they will immediately just die. Very, very good for like labs when it comes to Zaro at the end for the last, you know, the third time when you go into the trial, or, you know, it's just really, really good for clearing, because anything that goes down below 20% HP will just instantly die. So Slayer gives you that 20% culling strike. And the other thing that's really nice about Slayer is the impact ascendancy choice here. Single target melee attacks deal splash damage to surrounding targets, and you have 20% larger AoE as well. What this means is that if you're actually doing a Flicker Strike build that is not a Slayer Ascendancy, you will need to use a skill gem called Melee Splash Support. So with Slayer, you don't need to use a skill gem for that, because you can rely on your Ascendancy for that. Yep, so the Slayer Ascendancy, 20% Culling Strike, and Impact is the two very, very good reasons why Flicker Strike really, really works nice with the Slayer Ascendancy. And for the passive skill tree itself, where you're going to get your Critical Strike passive or notes, right, you can type critical here under the search bar. For priority, I went down here when I'm leveling, getting all my two-handed damage notes. Golden's Blood is really good for sustaining Blood Rage. You can take your +1 maximum frenzy charge early here. Cloth and Chain is nice for all ally resist in the beginning, especially when you're on budget, you know, that's 15% ORS. And I went for Lyra for bandits. And then you'll go over here to get Life Leech notes, your Vitality Void. And Life and Mana Leech is really, really good for mana sustenance in the beginning. So you pretty much go down here, out of Gladiator, then you go down, get your two-handed notes, come down here to get Golden's Blood, get your +1 frenzy charge, Cloth and Chain, Vitality Void, and Life and Mana Leech. Then you stop here, you don't go to the right yet. Then you start going towards the left side here. Don't take Eagle Eye at the beginning first, you go here for Warrior's Blood, again really good early game. Versatility is nice for attack speed, and most importantly for that +20 intelligence. And for this build in general, intelligence is really nice because you need 111 intelligence to be able to use a level 20 intelligence skill gem, yeah, for the most part. So 111 intelligence, and later on if your gear gives you intelligence, you can always remove this later on. But versatility will help you with the intelligence attribute requirement. And then you go Heart of the Warrior, Born to Fight, all the way here, and then you'll get Disemboweling. So if you're not going for Abyssus helmet, the unique helmet, then I'll suggest that you pick up the Melee Crit Strike Multi here. If not, you can actually remove it. I actually took it initially and I removed it here because I'm using the Abyssus helmet, which gives up to 125%, I believe, the highest roll for the melee crit strike multi. I got 123, which is quite nice. I used a divine, I think I used 3 divine ops on it, and I managed to get a decent roll. 43% increased damage taken, lowest is 40, and 123% melee crit strike multi, which is nice. But you'll get disemboweling, and then after that, you can now start to work your way towards the right. You don't want to go for a blade master first. Go towards the right here and work towards your herbalism for life, and then when you want to work towards fatal blade, and then after you get your fatal blade, you'll go up for your heart seeker. After heart seeker, depending on whether you feel like you have not enough life or not, maybe you want to get some life notes, you have a thick skin. If not, you can go ahead and get another +1 frenzy charge over here, your fervor. Most people actually click over here for the evasion. If you're not going evasion here, I would say that the frenzy charge duration increase is better for mapping. To sustain your frenzy charge is nice, so I went over this side since I'm also picking up the aspect of links for the 20% crit strike chance as well as the 10 intelligence. The movement speed is nice as well, and the increase in attack physical damage is nice as well. So pretty much Heart Seeker, Fatal Blade, and then later on Eagle Eye, your Eagle Eye notes for accuracy, and a total of I believe 32% critical strike chance. And then early on disemboweling, and then later on you can pick up your Blade Master, your Juggernaut, and then your thick skin, and at level 90 your Scion life notes over here as well. With Belly of the Beast, I'll hit 5,000 or just above 5,000 life with my current setup, which is pretty alright I think for up to tier 10 or 11 maps. I think it gets the job done. Yep, but I think that's about it for this video. Yep, you have your standard cast when damage taken, increased duration for your Blood Rage as well, Immortal Call, and yeah, the new Abyss League belts are really strong. Oh yeah, for jewels, last thing, you want to get melee crit strike chance with maximum life. I think that's the first 2 priority. And then if you need intelligence, I got a nice little jewel here that gives me increased physical damage with 2-handed melee weapons, intelligence, melee crit strike chance, and life. And then I have one more here, which is I believe over here, also life, melee crit strike chance, and increased physical damage with two-handed melee weapons. Nice as well. I got an Abyss Jewel one here for global crit strike chance, 30 life, which is close to around 5%, 6% maximum life as well, depending on how much life you have. And yeah, the third and fourth one is not really good, so because I haven't found something better yet. So I think that's it for a build guide, I guess, mini build guide for my Terminus Flicker Strike Slayer. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know. If you want to join us on our Discord community, the links are in the description below. I also stream every day, and if you want to join the stream, if you have any questions for me personally, I stream every day 7 PM GMT +8, which is the Singapore time zone, I guess. And you can always catch me there, twitch.tv/KazuAikawa, links again in the description below. If you enjoyed this video, let me know by slamming the like button. If not, thanks for watching once again, God bless. And I hope you guys look forward to more Path of Exile videos in the future. I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye!